Good evening. Good evening, kings and queens of the land. Good evening, kings and queens of the land. Good evening, the royals. Let me say good evening to the liberated zones in Africa. Let me acknowledge Burkina Faso, led by President Ibrahim Traore, Mali, led by President Assimi Goita, and Niger, led by President Abdurrahman Tian. Let me also add, though this is still a democratic state, but let me add Namibia, led by President Nandi. Good evening to the liberated state, to the liberated zone in South Africa under the colonial British, under the British colonial rule. South Africa, KZN, liberated zone in South Africa, liberated by the MK party, which is led by President Jacob Kelehlekisa Zuma. Good evening to ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mngoli Mkonto. This is the Royal Opinion. Today we're talking about the reasons why America is actually welcoming Afrikaners as refugees in America. The poor Afrikaners in South Africa who basically still have farm workers as slaves. Some of them take life for granted. They don't understand that America will not be able to give them the mastery life that they had in South Africa. I actually welcome uh, the only thing that I regret is the number, because the number is very small. White people are welcomed in America as refugees. Donald Trump keeping to his promises, ensuring that these people are taken care of, but using his people to prepare for bigger things that are to come in South Africa. White Afrikaners are going to learn in a hard way that in America they will be the ones who are going to be the slaves. It would not be like in South Africa where they've got their own slaves in black people. Let me first, before I get deeper into the topic, let me say to all those who are mothers, even though the Mother's Day is already past, but on Sunday it was Mother's Day. South Africa belongs to the mothers. In actual fact, Africa belongs to the mother. That's why we call it the motherland. The black woman has been sold out by the coward black man who can't stand the enemy of the black woman, who can't face, who can't uh, face at the moment the enemy of the black woman, who is causing immense suffering into the black woman. The land, when it was in the hands of the women, it was taken at gunpoint, sold by their husbands after getting defeated. Today is the black woman who gives birth to the drug addict, Today is the black woman who give birth to the Nyaope boy. Today is the black woman who give birth to the criminal. Today is the black woman who is at home alone without the father. Many people forget that whenever anything happens to anybody, the person who suffers the most is the mother. When anything happens to the children, the one who bears the pain of the happenings in the children is the mother. If the children are hungry, the mother is the one who is suffering. So I want to say Happy Mother's Day to the mothers, to the black mothers in South Africa. Though the black man has already sold your land and is coward to face the white man, instead of facing the white man, the black man has turned against the black woman again to abuse her instead of going to fight for her to get her land back. The black man is facing towards the direction of the black woman to abuse her, just like the white system is doing to the black woman. The black man is also turned his back because he's afraid of the white man. He's afraid to face the real enemy. He's a coward to face the people who have stole the land, who stole the minerals, who stole the economy. He's looking at the weaker link. Thank you very much, Mr. Victor Shongwe, for joining the class. Victor Shongwe, King Victor Shongwe saying in class, in time. No homo family without a mother. We exist black because there's a mother. Anybody in this planet exists because the mother exists. Without the mother, there's nothing that would exist. Let's say we exist because they existed before we existed. Though we are failing to take care of the women now because we've sold their land, men are cowards. They have sold the land of the black woman, and instead of going to recover the land from their enemy, they face the black woman again. But that was just a comment in passing. What I want to talk about, Europe is in chaos. They don't know what to do. The leaders of Europe are getting exposed in many of the things. In their poor planning, their strategies have been exposed. The black man loves money more than the family. The black man has been turned into an industrial machine. His job is to produce money and send, probably, if the machine is responsible enough, it will send money to the family. But today we are not talking about the black man is afraid of the white man, but abuses the black woman because the black woman is the ones who are always crying to say, I need my land, I need to take care of my children. My children have become criminals. Because I don't have land, my children have becomes drug addicts because I don't have the land. So the black woman is always crying to the black man to resource him in a circumstance, to resource her in this circumstance, but there's no answer from the black man because he is afraid to confront the enemy head on. He's sold out, he's a coward. When the black man becomes rich, a sportsman or a celebrity, he marries the white woman who will collect all his money in the end. That's what happens. Let me share a video. Let me show the people that lead. First, before you watch, let me give context of what is happening in this video that I'm sharing. In this video that I'm sharing here on the screen is Mr. Macron there, the president of France, is the British Prime Minister, and is the Germany Deputy Prime Minister, the Germany Deputy Prime Minister. These people are in a train traveling to somewhere. So this is what is happening.
Oh, right there in the right hand, detective. What do you see? Macron and the boys decided they were gonna have a little fun on this train ride through Kiev with a little white powder. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's look at the beginning of this video and analyze it step by step to see what really happened. A lot of laughing, a lot of chuckling, hands on the shoulders, big smiles. All right, all right. You can see right there, that's the bag in suspicion. And then supposedly, this is a spoon apparatus that can be used to apply the white powder. So nobody notices it yet, but there he does. And so, but he sees this here. So this is the spoon. So he sees the spoon, grabs it immediately at the same time that Macron pulls the bag back. He puts it in his hands, and he knew that if he took it off the table immediately, people would think something was suspicious, and so did Macron. So watch him just kind of hold it here for a minute. And now look at the nervousness. Do you see him grab his arm? Does this look like someone who is all calm and collected? Yeah. That's a clear sign of stress. And now, look at his face. He's not comfortable either. Look at his hand. He doesn't even know what to do with his hands. Now watch Macron, the old magician handoff. Look at this. So he knows they're in trouble. He knows they're in trouble. Look at this face. Look at the tension. Doesn't know what to do with the hands. He was gonna, should I fold them? Should I put them under the table? And then as he moves, the old magician senses the time to go from right hand to left hand to out of shot. Oh, it makes a joke as he goes. Look at this, oh boy. He knows what's going on too. Okay, detective, now let's look at this from the debate. Macron and the boys decided they were gonna have a little fun on this train ride through Kiev with a little white powder. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's look at the beginning of this video and analyze it step by step to see what really happened. A lot of laughing, a lot of chuckling, hands on the shoulders, big smiles. All right, all right. You can see right there, that's the bag in suspicion. And then supposedly, this is a spoon apparatus that can be used to apply the white powder. So nobody notices it yet, but there he does. And so, but he sees this here. So this is the spoon. So he sees the spoon, grabs it immediately at the same time that Macron pulls the bag back. He puts it in his hands, and he knew that if he took it off the table immediately, people would think something was suspicious, and so did Macron. So watch him just kind of hold it here for a minute. And now look at the nervousness. Do you see him grab his arm? Does this look like someone who is all calm and collected? Yeah. That's a clear sign of stress. And now, look at his face. He's not comfortable either. Look at his hand. He doesn't even know what to do with his hands. Now watch Macron, the old magician handoff. Look at this. So he knows they're in trouble. He knows they're in trouble. Look at this face. Look at the tension. Doesn't know what to do with the hands. He was going to, should I fold them? Should I put them under the table? And then as he moves, the old magician senses the time to go from right hand to left hand to out of shot. Oh, it makes a joke as he goes. Look at this, oh boy. He knows what's going on too. Okay, detective. Now let's look at this from the
There we go. I wanted to show. I wanted to show the leaders of Europe, the people, the so-called leaders in Europe who are actually using the white powder. We can't call it by its name. There is sniffing the white powder, the leaders, the Prime Minister, the British Prime Minister, the President of France, and the Deputy Prime Minister in Germany. That is not a sign of healthy nation. That's a sign of sick nations. I mean, if three powerful European leaders are idiots, that's not what I want to dwell on. I was just saying in passing. Some other people suspect Julius Malema of as well using the white powder. But if you are a sellout, then you will learn from your puppet drivers, from the puppet drivers. If you are a slave of Salon, then you will learn from the puppet drivers. We've got slave of salons in Ramaphosa. We've got slave of salon in Julius Malema in South Africa. Let me share this video so we can talk about the reason why Donald Trump is welcoming Afrikaners.
Proud to say stands for equal justice under law and the fair and impartial application of the law.
The refugees who were described here as the group appeared tired from the long journey, but all smiles on their arrival in the United States.
The president made it clear that Afrikaners in South Africa who were the victims of unjust racial discrimination would be welcome to come to the United States, and he's now delivering on that promise. The Deputy Secretary and I just spoke to some of the folks who arrived, on this flight, and they tell quite harrowing stories of the violence that they faced in South Africa that was not redressed by the authorities, by the unjust application of the law. The United States, as we were proud to say, stands for equal justice under law and the fair and impartial application of the law.
The United States is preparing to invade South Africa. United States is preparing to invade South Africa. That's why they're talking about Afrikaners having refugee status in America. The Afrikaners talking about gruesome issues that happened to them in South Africa, and authorities did not address it. So they are actually preparing to come and save the white people in South Africa by invading South Africa through guns, because they have no reason now whatsoever they can use. They tried to raise reasons to invade Burkina Faso. They failed decimally. Now they are creating reasons why they would like to invade South Africa in the near future. So this is going to happen. South Africa is going to be invaded in the near future by the USA. This is something which Donald Trump is preparing, and the administration is preparing. The reason they are preparing for this is because the MK party, the President Zuma, has decided to dare take them on, not using the military, not using the mafia style that they normally use to take over governments. President Zuma want to beat them in what they call peaceful transitions, peaceful transitions of government. President Zuma has dared to take the route which nobody thought it would be possible. The unity of black people to produce two-third majority in parliament in order to take control of the country and expropriate the land without compensation and change all the laws, including destroying or removing the Roman Dutch law, throwing in it out and using the African law. This United States is well aware that this is going to happen in South Africa. The ANC and the EFF is the same. The ANC, I actually I saw in another video where the ANC was saying the ANC is in government. They want to use government to campaign for the ANC because they want now to take services. They want to take advantage that the ANC is government and just give services. That not just go and campaign, but give services to the people. It means the ANC is now using their government uh, uh, resources to go and give to communities in this time of need, um, in order to buy them for votes, especially in the areas where there are by-elections. That's what they have declared they are going to do. It's a new strategy that they are employing in KZN. Whatever the ANC says or whatever the EFF says, they lose votes. It does not matter what they say. Whatever they say, they lose more people. Whenever they keep quiet, they lose more people. The ANC and the EFF keeps on losing more people, whether they are talking or whether they are keeping quiet. So the white people have no savior. They can realize that President Zuma has taken over the ground. The MK party is going to take over South Africa and is going to expropriate the land without compensation. Why is this a big fear for people in America? It's because when President Zuma takes over, he's going to stop their shenanigans in the land they own. Most of the farms in South Africa are owned by outsiders, people from Europe. And all of the mines in South Africa are owned by foreigners. So President Zuma is going to take control, expropriate the land without compensation, change the Roman Dutch law, and make black people free. So realizing that President Zuma is like a loose rock coming from the mountain, which cannot be stopped until maybe it hits the valley. And the only valley we're talking about here, it's victory. The MK party is going to win all the municipalities in 2026. Almost all of the municipalities are going to be taken over by the MK party, because the MK party is a movement. All the other political parties, including their propaganda machines, are getting defeated left, right, center. So Donald Trump knows exactly what is coming for the Afrikaners, and in preparation of this, they can see the ANC has got nobody in the ANC. I saw some members of the ANC who were singing that they want President Zuma to come and save them. President Zuma may take over the ANC conference in 2027. They are trying to forward the name of Patrice Motsepe to become president of the ANC. But that name is not working in politics. That name cannot work in politics at this stage. People knows them for what they are. So Donald Trump knows exactly what is coming for South Africa. Let me share another video so that you can actually understand what we're talking about.
It is a combination of incompetence and malevolence. Our population growth exceeds our economic growth, and you know what that entails and what that means for our country. And this country isn't a victim of history, it's a victim of the ANC and its racist and socialist ideologies. Here are the facts. On the 17th of March 2025, you, Mr. Trump, correctly stated South Africa is a place where the human rights of people have been strenuously questioned. And on the 7th of February 2025, you signed an order titled Addressing Egregious Actions of the Republic of South Africa. We have an unemployment crisis. Over 42% of South Africans are unemployed. And we have a crime epidemic. South Africa has one of the highest.
This is Roberts of writing a letter to President, making a video, reading his letter, which he's saying is forwarded it to President Trump. I want to forward it a little bit so that we can get to the point where he's talking about what he wish Trump would do.
To South
Uh,
Africa, warning him that failure to act against corruption would hamper his bid to draw foreign direct investment to South Africa. What was the ANC's response? They lashed out, describing the letter as a threat from imperialist forces and latter day colonialists. And in January 2020, members of the ANC and its alliance partner, the South African Communist Party, protested outside the US Embassy in Pretoria, chanting, and I quote, "One bullet, one American."
Bullet, one American. One bullet, one American. The amount of cowards criticizing indigenous people of the area with the America. The amount of story was India.
To add insult to injury, the South African government also planned to rename the road on which the US consulate is located after the terrorist Leila Khalid. And the latest special envoy to America, appointed by President Cyril Ramaphosa after Abraham Rasool was kicked out, is Mr. Msebeni Jonas, who has spoken openly against President Trump, calling you a racist and narcissist right-winger. And Jonas is chairman of MTN, which holds a major stake in Iran's second largest mobile operator. Many South Africans like me want America to intervene, as we are unable, due mainly to politics and demographics, to turn this ship around internally. Under the ANC, South Africa is heading into the abyss. We are going backwards.
So he's saying they want Donald Trump to intervene. They want him to come in and intervene in the situation. He's clear about it. He's saying because white people, due to demographics, white people are not able to turn the situation around because the MK party is not mentioning that. The MK party is taking over the majority. So, because of demographics, we are not able to stop the MK party. So, we want Donald Trump to come and intervene in this way that is.
As a result, I cannot thank you enough for paying attention to South Africa, as I know how many other priorities you have domestically and internationally. Thank you. Based on your holy trinity on foreign matters, does it make America safer? Does it make America stronger? Does it make America more prosperous? I would like to give you some advice, if I may, on what to do here, and I'm at your disposal to help make it happen. Let's begin. I've got 6 suggestions, if I may. Firstly, immediately appoint a special envoy attached to the US Embassy in South Africa, but based in Cape Town, to monitor the situation regarding the rights of ethnic minorities in this country, updating the ambassador and the White House on a regular basis, and making policy recommendations. This envoy would most likely be an American living in South Africa or would move here, but you could even consider a South African highly respected by the USA. Examples could be Americans with extensive experience.
I think minorities is talking about basically taking care of white people, coming special envoy from America to the Western Cape, basically to protect the Cape Point, because that is their crisis. Their crisis is the Cape money that the Cape Points can generate. It's a Cape Point is a very strategic location in the world, very very strategic. From the Cape, there's no way you will not reach. The Cape is the shortest distance to any point in the world. When people are coming from Europe, they refill in South Africa in the Cape Point. When they come from Asia or they come from whichever part of the world, they refill in South Africa. The Atlantic Ocean meets the Indian Ocean in Cape Town. So trillions of money is getting processed through the Cape Point. So they want to protect uh, South Africa, but the priority to get Cape Town independent first, so they can be able to recolonize the whole country. White people have got evil plans.
Experience in Africa and South Africa, specifically like maybe Colonel Chris Wyatt or human rights advocate Matt Chansey, or even distinguished South Africans like Gary Player, whom I know you know well, or Rian Barnard. There are many others you could consider, and I'm sure you have a long list. But this special office will be dedicated to coordinate and promote efforts to improve protections and respect for the fundamental self-determination of ethnic in South Africa who have suffered unjust discrimination by the ANC-led government over the last 30 years, but mostly over the last 10 years. The United Nations to put pressure on the ANC-led government to abandon race-based discrimination laws, polarizing and violent rhetoric against racial or ethnic minorities, and all forms of social and economic. Your special envoy could create actionable plans to implement protections for ethnic minorities against government discrimination, including support, if necessary, for internationally recognized homelands. This envoy could also serve as a high-level advocate and operate under the president's direct.
Internationally recognized homelands for ethnic minority. Ethnic minority, meaning the Afrikaners, be given their home. Africa. That's what is proposing to Donald Trump. Must appoint a colonial administrator as South Africa, who will be based in Cape Town, who is going to South African to ensure that no reforms are done in South African laws that would redress the the imbalances that was created by apartheid, where black people were treated as animals. So he's now saying Donald Trump should come and save them to avoid redress, or to ensure that nothing would happen to solve these issues. That black people wishes to address. So that's what he's talking about here. Listen to him carefully. They talk in a diplomatic way. You can clap for them, but this
authority. And I think this is something that can be done immediately and doesn't require Senate confirmation. And it keeps the pressure on the ANC by letting them know this issue is not going to go away. Suggestion number 2, demand an immediate repeal of the Expropriation Without Compensation Act, known as EWC here, as a prerequisite to any trade negotiations with the United States, and also demand South Africa back out of the ICJ case against Israel. These must be fundamental fundamental demands before you engage. Repealed if the ANC wants to happen. And I think it needs to be the minimum threshold required before considering any amendment. The ANC is under enormous, and the rand, our currency, has fallen to 19 to 1 to the dollar, a record low. South Africa stands to lose billions. 3, announce a repeal or reduction of tariff rates connected to agricultural products produced and exported from the Western Cape, including wine, because the Western Cape has never supported land expropriation or BEE. And a recent poll showed that I think it was 64% of all voters in the Western Cape want South Africa to be more aligned with America and not China. Please grant their wish. And I believe this is important because it sends a message to the ANC that the US does not desire to punish all South Africans for the sins of their ANC leaders. The Western Cape, for example, has never voted for an ANC-led government. The Western Cape and entities. This move would also benefit the same. Pretoria. So 5, punish the evil doers with targeted spears of hate